What's up, True Heel Heat? True Heel Heat.
What's up? True Heel Heat. All hands on me.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Rob Van Dam. Listen to True Heel Heat. Pow.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Romeo's Twitter for our Rated Raw review, number 34, the best there is and ever will be, discussing the September 9th, 2024 season premiere of Monday Night Raw as only we can. And to do that, of course, I am not joined by the president of the Jets fan club because he's in mourning after last night's choke job that they did without Christian McCaffrey. We are joined by the main man over at the Around the Point Network, who has basically unofficially became the third co-host of Rated Raw Review because Romeo misses so many weeks running from the grind. The one and only Chase Oliver.
How's it going, everybody? Sad day for Romeo. Hopefully he can recover. I gave him some beer money last night. Said, hey man, you definitely get a drink for this one. So yeah, tough loss.
See, you're a good friend. You're a good friend, Chase.
I try to be.
You don't run from the grind either, so I appreciate you for that. But yes, we are here for another edition of Rated Raw Review, reviewing the season premiere of Monday Night Raw, and a very newsworthy, noteworthy edition of Monday Night Raw that we're going to discuss this week from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And we appreciate you for joining us live. We appreciate you if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back either way in the best way possible. The simplest way possible is by dropping the thumbs up on this video. You can share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, if you're watching us on Facebook, drop a heart, drop a like, drop a laugh emoji, however Monday Night Raw made you feel. You can retweet the video if you're watching us on Twitter and drop a heart there. And most of all, if you're watching on any of those platforms, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys and hear your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. And of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here and throw a little salt on Romeo's wound of the Jets losing, you could send a super chat donation and make a record for Rated Raw review, so we could be like, see, Romeo, you should have showed up to work after that Jets loss. You would have felt a lot better. But we got already in the chat with us today, Eric Isaacs, who says, hello, THH fam. It was the night of the Judgment Day. A happy homecoming for the Hart fam, Bret and Natalia. Wyatt 6 stood tall. Punk and Drew, Hell in a Cell, and Jey the number Yeet contender for the IC title. You missed out on one big other headline here, Eric Isaacs, which we'll get into to start the show. So that says, sup everyone. And yeah, so Jason, what's kind of your overall viewpoint on this week's Raw before we get into the nit and gritty here?
I thought it was a good episode. I thought it was paced pretty well. I think the crowd carried a lot of the action. I can't believe I'm saying it. There was actually like 2 good matches on the show that I liked. One semi-good match, which is not normal for Raw. Normally, like it's like one good match and that's it. But strong opener and a really strong main event. And yeah, I was actually like, even though the football game was on, I went back and I watched like the portions that I truly missed, and I was like, wow, you know, this episode was breezed by. It didn't feel like the 3-hour slog, especially when it gets to that 6 o'clock hour for me. At 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock for those East Coast viewers, that could either be make or break for an episode of Raw. And this one was actually tolerable. So yeah, very, very good episode in my opinion.
And you see how well me and Chase have developed chemistry. He gave me a natural segue because he talked about the 3-hour Raws. And the biggest news, I think, of this episode was the announcement that in 1 month's time, the August 7th episode of Monday Night Raw, Raw is going to 2 hours on the USA Network for the remainder of the year for the first time since 2012, since the 1000th episode of Monday Night Raw. We are going to get 2-hour Raws from here on out on the USA Network. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter and Wrestling Observer Radio, he said it last night that he believes that when Raw goes to Netflix, it will be back to 3 hours. So we can't get too happy yet.
No.
Fightful Sean Rossap said he hasn't heard any clarification on what the amount of runtime will be for Monday Night Raw when it goes to Netflix. There has been other various reports that the runtime will be vary on Netflix because they don't have any constructs in that regard. But man, oh man, I was like in disbelief. I had to get confirmation from other people when I heard Testatori said that. I was like, wait, did he just say 8 to 10? Was that a mistake he made? But apparently this is a part of the 3-month deal that they signed with the USA Network, Chase, when they signed their new contract with Netflix. They weren't going to have a home on network after the month of September, but they made a $25 million 3-month deal with the USA Network, which is a discount apparently for the USA Network to keep Monday Night Raw on there for the duration of 2024. But I'm gonna guess, because they're making it 2 hours and this is USA Network's call and not WWE's call,
Yes.
that I feel like USA Network already had plans for Monday night at 10 p.m. So that's why Monday Night Raw is making this change. But what was your reaction to this news? What do you think the fans will be in store for with 2-hour Raws from here on out for the rest of 2024?
I'm so happy. Finally, like these 3-hour Raws, these movies, I'm glad it's over. Like I remember when Raw 1000 happened, they announced we're going to be 3 hours every week. I was praying. I'm like, please just let this be like this year experiment. And then they realized it's such a horrible idea because 3 hours of television, you know, it's so funny. All we hear from these wrestlers sometimes in shoot interviews, we don't have enough time. We don't have time. There's 3 hours on this damn show. How do you not have time in these 3 hours and stuff? And WWE would find ways not to make time for anyone in these 3 hours. It was stupid. And now finally with these 2 hours, my biggest concern is I hope Raw doesn't become what SmackDown was SmackDown is in some of these 2-hour shows where, you know, one of the benefits of the 3-hour Raw, and this is the only benefit, is like when you have those 30-minute segments and you can kind of go on long for your talking segments and you can make up match time. There's no benefit on SmackDown. There would be episodes of when the Bloodline would come out 45 minutes. They were just doing nothing. And then the next match, all right, here's that 2-minute classic between wrestlers. So I'm happy though, because as a viewer, as someone who values my time, 2 hours is very nice. I enjoy just a 2-hour block of wrestling. I don't need anything more unless it's a PLE or a pay-per-view. I don't need more than 2 hours of a weekly television show for professional wrestling. 2 hours is a perfect sweet spot. I just have to see how Triple H maps it out. But yes, I am glad it's 2 hours. And please do not go back to 3 hours on Netflix. Like Netflix, 2 hours, no commercials. What ads are you going to put on there? There's no advertiser that's going to approve of you when McAfee's calling people douchebags on commentary. There's no advertisers. Stop it. Just say Mattel is fine. WWE signed a cajillion-year contract with them. Screw Skittles, screw Snickers, screw all these companies, Metro, PCS, whatever else is WWE loves. Screw them. This is the Netflix era. I just want raw entertainment, raw. So just 2 hours, no commercials. Please do not do 3 hours. That is a mistake. I think 2 hours is perfect. I'm glad USA was like, we weren't thinking you wanted to stay, but WWE has great relations with those people. Like most of the WWE staff that work there now are from NBC, so they have great relations with those people. So and also they're doing them a huge solid, because you know WWE did give them SmackDown, because Fox paid $1 billion for SmackDown. SmackDown only sold to them for $825 million. So WWE did them a huge solid, lowering the price of SmackDown, and USA gets to keep Raw, and they're going to get ad money. But like you said, they probably had something already planned out at that 10 p.m. And then they're like, yeah, we'll keep you guys. Why not? Sure. You guys have been great partners for us for the last, when they moved to USA, 2007? Like, so for the last like 20 something years?
Well, they moved back to USA because they were on USA Network originally. They went to TNN / then became Spike in 2000, and they were on there until I believe 2005. It was a 5-year deal with TNN and Spike, and then they moved back because they had the big homecoming episode. That big homecoming episode was in 2005, and then they've been on there for pretty much 20 years now with Monday Night Raw on the USA Network. So yeah, it's very interesting. And really, like, the move to 3 hours was when me, as a fan, as a viewer of Monday Night Raw at that time, not doing any of the stuff that I'm doing now in regards to wrestling, this is when I really realized, I was like, oh, WWE doesn't care about me as a viewer and the quality of their show. They care about the money, because the whole reasoning why they got the 3 hours was for the ad revenue, and it's extra money in that regard, and extra money that USA Network will give them for a 3-hour Raw. And I agree with you 100%. With them going to Netflix, there's no reason. The whole reason that they had the 3rd hour is for ad revenue, and there's going to be little to no ads on Netflix. I think that we are being too optimistic to think that there's not going to be any ads on Netflix. Yeah. I think that there will probably be some ad breaks, minor ones, if it's like sponsors or WWE promoting Peacock on there, or eventually promoting more stuff for the Netflix era of WWE content, maybe stuff like that. But yeah, I think we're being too optimistic to think there's going to be no ads. I think there will be some ads when they go to Netflix.
Oh yeah, that because they actually have a football game going on like December, like a Christmas Day, like they have a football game. So that's where I'm going to be like, okay, let's see how Netflix spaces out the ads, because Amazon does commercials for their football games. So I'll be interested to see what Netflix does. But yeah, I just hope they just keep it 2 hours, limited ads, just hype up what you guys have, hype up any Netflix shows that you want people to watch. Any what do they post on there? True crime documentaries, reality TV. Perfect. USA Network already does all that shit too. So I'll just be watching that too.
Fair. Power Driver Finisher says, didn't watch it, but damn, I'm so happy 3 hours got cut. I agree there. We do have a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, damn, I feel bad for Romeo. His Jets lost last night, and his boy, Mr. Arbery, keeps losing to Mr. Lamar. LOL.
Oh.
Yes, it was announced over the weekend that Kendrick Lamar will be performing during the Super Bowl halftime show. That got controversy, and it got mad people becoming Lil Wayne fans, apparently.
You know what's funny too? The city of New Orleans gets to choose who they want for the Super Bowl halftime. They chose Kendrick over Weezy. Well, you know, to be honest, I think Lil Wayne's more concerned with his new show with Skip Bayless. I don't think he really cares, to be honest. Like,
what is it going to be called? I've heard little to no about this. I just know that Skip came back with his podcast. What was it, last week?
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm free. I have freedom. I was like, I'm pretty sure you said that when you went to FS1, but okay. All right.
He's now completely free, SP3. There's no one holding back the machine that is Skip Bayless. All right. No. Yeah. So, yeah, no, Wheezy, he's terrible now. Okay. Like, let's just call it. I've seen him live plenty of times. He's not the best live show. It's not the best. Like, he has bangers. Don't get me wrong. I was a middle schooler, and I was saying like, oh, Lil Wayne's the best. I was saying that when I was a little seventh grader, listening to Lollipop and everything. So yeah. I don't think I should have been listening to that song, but
oh well, not in middle school for sure.
Yeah.
Damn sure. But I
didn't know what that meant at the time.
I would say that the Kendrick pop-up was basically like a big ad for New Orleans and the NFL to be like, yeah, this is probably the guy we should go with the Super Bowl halftime show. Like, I wonder if something close to the pop-up.
I wonder if they're gonna allow like Not Like Us in the set list. I feel like they should. I mean, it's like
they should.
Yeah,
it's like the song of the year.
Yeah, like I don't know, because it's the NFL. Are they gonna be like, hey, just don't say Drake's a pedophile in the song? Like, can you change up those lyrics? Can you make it football related or something like that? Like, there has to be something. Like, they're gonna say you can't do the whole song. Just do the he's a fan, not like us. Wop. We need that at least. And then transition to another song. Yeah, no, I agree. The pop-up was definitely like a big, like, this is what you get if Kendrick Lamar is at your Super Bowl. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm excited for it. It's gonna be great when the Chiefs and 49ers face for the third fucking time, and I'm pissed off. And then I'm like, oh, at least I got the Kendrick concert.
So you hear that's your Super Bowl prediction. There you have it. Place your bets on Chase. On Chase's bets. Chase makes good bets. Vala B says Aubrey deserves every L he gets. I mean, true. We also got Power Driver Finisher. He says longer matches don't equate to better matches, in my opinion, because they just put on any match that either has no business being so long or, ironically enough, too short to do anything. I mean, that can be a fair opinion, but I think that last night is proof that you can have better matches if they're given enough time. Yeah. And I felt like like you said, the opener to last night felt like a premium live event type matchup because it was commercial free. And then the main event, despite having commercials, I thought it was even better than the opener with the Fatal 4-Way matchup.
That was fun. I enjoyed that Fatal 4-Way a lot. The opener, like I wasn't really looking too big into it, but that shocked me too, how fun that was.
Yeah, very much over delivered. We got Around the Point Network, which I'm assuming is Heel Steven in the chat. Good to see you. He says Carter 3 was that album. It was that album that year. Was that 08? Was that 08 Carter 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was about to say, I was like, if it was 07, it was actually the second best album because I thought Graduation was better. But if it's 08, yeah, that was the album of the year.
No, Graduation. I listened to that. Like, I
still listen to
that. I tell people, old Kanye, it doesn't get better than that, man. Like, you can just listen to
first 3 albums. Kanye is peak Kanye.
Exactly.
College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, when it was all themed around college. That was peak Kanye.
I do like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Factory. That's like my favorite. That's like one of my favorite later Kanye. I don't know, is that considered middle Kanye?
That's the only great late Kanye album for me. Like everything past 808s and Heartbreak. I think 808s and Heartbreak is better on a re-listen than it was originally.
I love RoboCop on that song. I don't know why that's my favorite song, but I love it.
And then Twisted Dark Fantasy, that's like his only great album of like the second after he left college after graduation. That's like the last great album to me. I don't know about I didn't really listen to like a lot of his latest stuff because I was like, this is not for me. But yes, we all miss Okanye. We all miss
Oh, yeah.
Okanye. But yes, we're going to get into Monday Night Raw, but keep coming up with your thoughts on Monday Night Raw moving to 2 hours starting on October 7th, or anything else you want to talk about during the show. Let us know in the live chat. And of course, send those super chat donations because they always help out the channel so much, and the contributors that you always see on screen with us here. We got to start off the show, Drew McIntyre was wearing a Johnny Cash I Walk the Line shirt. Braun Breaker, he came into the building as well as Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Alba Fire, Isla Dawn were all shown arriving as Joe Testatori and Wade Barrett welcomed us to Monday Night Raw, hyping up the crowd. Testatori, who they are now calling, all the commentators and reporters are calling him Tess. That was, I noticed that throughout the show. It's like, oh, we're on a first name basis. We're abbreviating your last name now, Tess. He announced that Bret Hart's appearance to a big reaction from the fans, and they announced that the first hour of Monday Night Raw is commercial free. And the main reason why I said with the opening matchup, why I felt like a premium live event matchup, is because we got a freaking whole video package for this. And I'm like, first of all, one, this is a Monday Night Raw. So I understand it's a season premiere. It's a bigger episode than usual. That's fair. That takes back my first point. My second point, though, this is a very lopsided, one-sided feud to do a whole video package for. I was like, this is actually more one-sided than Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes in 2022.
Yeah. Before the feud even started, it was one side. Chad Gable was technically killed at one point. So it was like this feud was like very lopsided. But WWE, they know how to do it, man. They like, I tell people, if I didn't watch wrestling on a weekly basis, I would have thought Bray Wyatt's the greatest of all time based off all the video packages that WWE before his matches. Like, this guy's awesome. Wow, he's the greatest of all time. Video packages for WWE, they will never fail at like tricking every so often viewers of like how epic this is. Like, you would think the Alpha Academy, like you would think after the first match with Uncle Howdy that Chad Gable killed him or something, and that's why we're having this street fight. Nope. Not the case.
Nope. Not the case at all, but they made it look good. This was a really well done video package to start things off. Chad Gable and the American Made team of the Creeds and Ivy Now, they came out. Gable had an American flag to draw more heat from the Canadian fans, who even had some Canadian flags in the crowd. And then the Wyatt 6 entrance is always great, and the crowd in Calgary really ate this all up. The match starts with the Wyatt 6 on the apron, except for Nikki Cross, who they called her Nikki Cross, not Abby the Witch, as they've been calling her. She sat by Uncle Howdy, and then she ran in to start the matchup, attacking Ivy Now. She went right after Ivy, taking her to the outside and using a kendo stick to beat the crap out of her. Uncle Howdy watched from ringside as the rest of the crew attacked American Made. They ditched their masks, and Cross wore white makeup on her face instead of the mask here. Cross cleared the announce table, but now dropped her on it as Gable wildly attacked Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy with the kendo stick. Eric Rowan no-sold the kendo stick and knocked down all the male members of American Made. Now sprayed a fire extinguisher into Rowan's face, which allowed for American Made to take control. They put Rowan through a table with a double spine buster and then buried him under a bunch of carnage, the table and chairs and whatnot. The crowd initially popped the table for the table spot, but then quickly booed American Made. American Made placed a trash can that didn't really fit Joe Gacy over his head and hammered him with a kendo stick. Now was looking under the ring while all of this was going on. At one point, Chad Gable freaking ran into Joe Gacy as he had the trash can lid, and he just fell, and Joe Gacy fell at the same time. They both sold that. I was just like, well, what the hell was Chad Gable trying to do there? But Okay. Now looked under the ring for something, but she found Nikki Cross, who knocked her over the announce table. Rowan eventually rose from underneath the debris and he kicked down a section of the barricade. He used it as a weapon, knocking down the Creeds and Chad Gable. Rowan almost had it won with a big choke slam on Brutus, but Gable broke up the cover. There was a great spot where the Creeds knocked Rowan out of the ring and Gable gave him a German suplex into the barricade. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome" at this point as Gacy and Loomis made a comeback. Loomis drove Brutus through a table with a diving leg drop off the apron. Gacy wanted to put Gable through a table, but Gable met him on the turnbuckles with an angle slam through the table instead. Gable put Gacy in an ankle lock, has now hit Gacy with kendo stick. Nikki Cross jumps in. She yanks Niall out of the ring and then delivers a German suplex to Chad Gable. Cross then gave Niall a swinging neck breaker on Apollo chairs. Gable found himself face to face with Uncle Howdy, but Roman ran him over with the tackle and slammed him into the steel steps. Uncle Howdy finally made it into the ring, and he dropped Julius Creed with a nice-looking Sister Abigail. Meanwhile, it was Dexter Loomis who finished things off with this big assisted big splash off the top rope onto Chad Gable for the 1-2-3. The Wyatt Six once again get another victory over American Made. This was an awesome, very fun opener to the show. It was your WWE style street fight, not your AEW style street fight. I had a lot of people messaging me, this is going to be like a pillow fight in comparison to Saturday. But this was a very well done, very fun WWE's TV style street fight that the crowd was into from the moment go. The Wyatt Six pick up another victory, looking strong. And now I'm very interested to see what's next for both of these stables, because it's time for both of them to move the hell on.
Yes,
what did you
please.
think about this opener of the Wyatt Six and American Made?
So one comment outside of the match, Joe Tessitore, obviously not afraid of the grind like Pat McAfee. I think that's Romeo's new nickname is Romeo McAfee, afraid of the grind, because Pat McAfee, apparently he can't do Monday Night Raw because of College Game Day or whatever. But Joe
Which is on Saturday. It's really weird.
But Joe Tessitore commentates the main ESPN game every Saturday, and he made a reference to it, talking about Alabama. And I was just like, how come Tessitore can do this, but not McAfee? And it's not like Tessitore and McAfee's days are any different. Tess has to do a lot more before the game. He has to interview with the coaches, talk to all the players, learn about them, study their stats. He is there just as early as McAfee is at the arenas and everything. I don't know. McAfee,
it made sense when McAfee was on SmackDown that he couldn't do both game day but dude, that's on Saturday. You're telling me you can go to wherever you need to go to do your show, but you can't come to wherever Monday Night Raw is and do that?
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. Running from the grind.
I get it. The McAfee show is very important. That ESPN paid a lot of money for it. But I'm sure the great viewers of Pat McAfee will understand that they don't have to watch it on a Monday. It's okay. It's not like you're missing much. It's normally the same show. I am a regular watcher of the McAfee show. It's normally the same for most of the episodes. But the match itself, really good. Nice to see Nikki Cross back in the ring. Very happy to see that she's back, and she still looks good, so that's good. Eric Rowan was the star of this match. I can't believe I'm saying that because he was one of my most hated wrestlers when they were trying to push him, and they added a stairs match at TLC, and they added a name to that pay-per-view, TLC and Stairs. And I just couldn't believe it that we're just pushing this big old idiot. Like, I always remember when he came out for Team Cena and got no freaking pop to stare down Luke Harper. Luke Harper selling this like he saw a ghost, and no one cared. Everyone was just like, who's this? Who's that? Or the spider gimmick. Remember, he had the robotic spider.
Oh, the big spider in the cage, and they built it up as the big. What's in the cage? What's in the cage?
Such a Vince bookie, I swear. That idiot. But yeah, no, really, really fun. But also, Triple H, you need to fix this up, bro. I am so tired of when you make someone form a new group or a new faction, and we'll get to the other faction later on tonight, and they are just losers. once again, American made.
Why did Gable need to take the pin?
Exactly.
Like, Jesus Christ! Like, will you get buy this man a bone, a W in some way? Like, at least not take the pin.
Ivy's there, Brutus is there, Julius is there. One of them could have taken the pin, and then that's could have led to Chad Gable showing, like, the Creeds only know like the successful Chad Gable. They don't know the Chad Gable that treated American Alpha bad. This could have led Chad Gable calling them losers. You're reminding me of my old group. Can you change your ways? And like putting pressure on them or something. But yeah, no, like I just get sick and tired when you like make people go into a group. And I'm not saying, oh, make them champions, do all this. I'm just saying you put them in a group. You say like, oh, this group is going to be a big dominant force, and they don't do shit with them. And then it's just like, okay, well, you can't even beat the other big dominant force. And that was the issue. He put a new group against a new group, and you have to decide which new group you liked more. And of course, you're not going to make the Wyatt 6 lose like right off the rip. Like that makes no sense. But then this whole Chad Gable thing, it just doesn't make sense for Chad Gable. Like, why would the Creeds join Chad Gable? Why were they so insistent? Like, he has not shown he's a winner at all, and yet the Creeds joined to become winner. Like, the story just doesn't make sense, and it's a big flaw on Triple H's behalf. Is that he always does this. He just forms a group. He has an idea for them. He puts them in a storyline, and then they don't win shit. Man, and I'm not talking about titles. Just talking about wins. Just a W. And then we're supposed to believe when the American Made beat up the Alpha Academy for the 50th time, like, oh, what a scary group this is. Like, they couldn't beat the Wyatt 6. They couldn't even get a pinfall on the Wyatt 6, like, let alone anything. So that was my only complaint, was just that. But other than that, the match was great. Like, it was fun. Like, a fun way to kick off Monday Night Raw. High octane action. So I liked it, especially like football games starting. You want people to not go to ESPN. That was a good way to keep people's eyes on your television instead of the Jets floundering around on offense.
Yeah, and the crowd was hot. The crowd was into everything that they got here. Like I said, it was a very fun way to kick off the show. It exceeded my expectations as well. I thought it would be fine after the last Wyatt 6 tag team matchup, but this was even better than that matchup was. We do have another super chat donation. Thank you, I Make Beat. He says, working right now, but just checking in. Much love, y'all. Thank you so much, good brother. Always appreciate you, and great seeing you in the chat today. He also adds, by the way, opening match was a blast. It was a blast to watch, but I'm just like really frustrated with the booking of American Made. It feels like they were only put together to lose to the Wyatt 6. Like, you didn't even properly finish off their story with Alpha Academy. You really kind of like a wet fart type of finish to that, with the way that Otis turned on him, was pushing him down instead of delivering the world's strongest slam. We never got Otis versus Chad Gable. And yeah, of course, maybe they can go back to that. But at this point, they missed the peak of that story. And just to tell this other story with the Wyatt 6 just washing them in 3 straight matches. Yeah. And never even getting a week where they stood tall. Like, at least the Judgment Day has now had 2 weeks where they stood tall. Yeah. Like, you didn't even give them 1 week where they stood tall against these guys.
Yeah, Otis needs to stop wearing that free Otis shirt. You've been free for like the last month. What are we freeing you from? Catering? Like, what are we freeing you from, bud? Come on.
Like, stop it, fam. Stop it. We got Follow B who says, this is what Gable re-signed for. Yep.
We also got Chad Gable in the G1, man. It was right there. Chad Gable. I was of the belief Chad Gable should have left. I get it. He's older than he looks. He's one of those shocking. Wait, he's 36. Like, you'll be shocked by his age. I was just more of like, look, you don't have to go to AEW. You don't have to go anywhere. You could go just work on your craft elsewhere, and then come back stronger. They would have brought you back. They obviously offered you a contract. Like, for me, if I was in Chad Gable's situation, the minute WWE laid that contract there, yeah, I'm going to look at it, see how much they're paying me. But then I'm going to say, these motherfuckers are going to offer me a contract, a second run again, and they're still going to pay me this much or more if I raise my stock outside of WWE. So yeah, I'm going to go outside. So I always felt he should have went outside, but maybe there was a lot more zeros than he was expecting. He's like, what? You're giving me 7 figures?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
like he's like,
oh.
let me sign this. Let me
Yeah.
sign this ASAP. I feel like that's the situation with him and Natalia. I feel like him and Natalia got such big deals that they didn't expect, that they just like was like, I'd be a dummy if I didn't sign this.
Yeah.
Whereas you could have been like Mustafa Ali. I think Ali, now that he's a free agent,
Oh,
if
yeah.
he went and talks to WWE, he's going to get a
Stock-
much higher deal than he would have otherwise.
Stock is up on that guy. Exactly. Like that's where the game is. Like I tell people in any contract negotiations, if they offer you a contract, that means they want you. If you're kind of waiting and seeing, oh, are they going to give me a contract or are they not? They don't want you. So you should start, planning your exit strategy. They obviously want to keep Chad Gable. And it's like Chad Gable would have made money outside of WWE, but yeah, that bag must have been so nice where he was just like, I ain't leaving this company. 7 figures, and I'm just losing to the Wyatt 6. Sign me the fuck up.
We got Vala B who says Wyatt 6 losing off rip would have been on brand though. Yeah, I feel bad saying it.
Yeah, how many times Bray Wyatt would be like, I'm gonna make sure no one will ever hear your name again, and then he would lose, and then I'll be like, okay, and then he'll come back the next week. I'm gonna take down everybody. No one has finishing the Rock with Bray Wyatt, and it's like, bro, you just lost. You just lost to Roman Reigns. What wrath are you? Wyatt used to piss me off, bro. Rest in peace, but piss me off.
Rest in peace. Yes, we got our good brother Will Chisholm in the chat.
Yeah.
Great to see you, Will, today. Appreciate the love with the super chat donation here. He says AEW all surprised that Sheamus signed a new WWE deal and not try AEW or NJPW. You're 100% right, Will. He's right in that case with Chad Gable and Natalia, probably, where they gave him one extra zero that he wasn't expecting. He was like, man, I'll be stupid not to sign this. Yeah.
Triple H was like, remember all those times you used to spot me, man? I can't let you go. You're my gym buddy. I need you.
Yeah.
And it's like,
because Claudio was talking to him like, yo, bro, it's nice over here. I'm getting more. They got me in a main event angle with Bryan Danielson. I'm doing nice over here.
Sheamus would have been great for AEW. Hell, even great for New Japan. I wouldn't have been surprised instead of Sheamus going to AEW right away. He would have been like perfect for Impact. Like Impact would have loved that motherfucker and stuff. So like I or TNA. I know they changed their name. They changed their name when I finally got used to the old name, whatever. But yeah, no, Sheamus, I thought he was going to leave because I was just like, what else does he need to do? He doesn't need to prove anything else. He's won every title under the sun besides that IC title. Pretty much he's going into the WWE Hall of Fame, and he will always have a place going back to WWE. Like, because he's in the best position. He can always go back, and they'll take him back, and fans are not going to complain at all. Because there's that one point in time we thought Sheamus was done. Remember, they were like, oh, like there was reports his back is so messed up that like we don't even know if this guy could wrestle again and stuff. So yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy for Sheamus. He's doing what he likes to do, banner after banner. But I don't like that banner after banner with other talents, that I haven't seen him wrestle for like 50 times in a row. Just me.
Yeah. I would have loved it. I would have loved it, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
but,
Rikisha, you should have told Sheamus to go to AEW, not your son. Shut up.
Even though the first hour is commercial free, they still aired and their one of their own ads for merchandise and a WWE Week on USA ad. They then recap what went down with Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley last week, with Liv attacking Rhea's knee and injuring her, and then they announced that Liv Morgan will defend the WWE Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley at Bad Blood on October 5th. So one of the first matches announced for the big show coming up next month. And then we had the Judgment Day's Finn Balor coming out to the ring alone. Balor says on the mic that Damian Priest, that it didn't have to be this way. Priest thought that Balor screwed him, but it was Priest who screwed the Judgment Day. Balor tried lifting Priest up while in the Judgment Day, but all Priest did was held him down, even though they were brothers. Balor assured Priest he'd stayed champion, but Balor himself should have been champion first. But all the times when he got an opportunity at the championship, it was Priest lurking around with his briefcase and screwed him when he got close to winning the title. Balor then calls out Damian Priest because he has something he wants to say to his face. Priest comes down very determined, stomp into the ring. Priest gets on the mic and he says that he's been trying to get his hands on Balor, but he kept running. He would let Balor say what he had to say, and then he was going to drop his ass. I was like, dude, if you really want to beat him up, I mean,
Just do it here.
Just do it. Just do it. Don't listen to him. Just do it. But Balor has a chance to talk. He says that he wasn't going to do what Priest said because he wasn't his sidekick. Finn Balor was nobody's sidekick. Balor said that Priest and Ripley would fall on the same night, and he challenged him to face him one-on-one at Bad Blood. Priest accepted the challenge. Priest still wanted to beat him up right here, right now, but Balor reminded him of the old Judgment Day playbook. Priest didn't care about the whole Judgment Day playbook because he says that he knows what it's all about, and he drops him with a right hand anyway. Carlito and JD McDonough tried to attack, but they got knocked down as well. But eventually, Dominic Mysterio joined the fray. Priest caught him right in the throat, but the numbers caught up to him eventually. This led into Rhea Ripley coming out to her music, like you always said. This is brutality, gets the people on their feet, but she comes out once again on a crutch. Liv Morgan tries to attack her from behind, but Rhea is expecting her and knocks her down. Ripley then attacks Dom with her crutch until Liv Morgan chop blocks her from behind. The crowd chanted yeet as the Judgment Day were beating down Priest and Ripley. Priest is getting beaten down and worked over on his ribs as Liv Morgan is just attacking Ripley with the crutch. Eventually, when she looks like she's about to attack her injured leg again with the crutch, Damian Priest showing how much he's willing to sacrifice for his sister. He covers her body, trying to protect her. So Liv Morgan attacks him with the crutch anyway. They held down Priest, and Dom starts nailing Priest with the crutch over his ribs, working over his ribs. It looks like they're setting up Priest for the coup de grace as Balor goes up to the top rope. But it's Jey Uso who finally comes down for the save. What the hell were you doing? He runs down with a steel chair. The Judgment Day, despite having a 5-on-1 advantage, they run away because he has a weapon. I guess that makes sense. Jey checks on the Terra Twins as they're all laid out here. What did you think about this segment, setting up Balor versus Priest? First encounter since the implosion of the Judgment Day and the beatdown by the Judgment Day, finally getting one up on the Terra Twins after a couple of weeks here.
I love the beatdown portion. I hated the promo section. This felt like I was checking, is Vince back? I was looking at the reports, is Vince back? This was a classic Vince McMahon dumb baby face angle, like making Priest, who has been such a smart baby face, which is a rare occurrence you get in wrestling, coming out like you said, I want to kick your ass. Do it.
Just do it. That pissed me off so much.
And then Priest, like you said, I know the Judgment Day playbook. Okay, then why did you come out by yourself if you know the playbook? Like, just dumb. And I didn't feel like they needed to say anything to each other. Like, Finn, I didn't want to be a sidekick. You've been a sidekick. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is like the stuff where I'm just like, we don't need these. Like, promos are important, but like when you got nothing to say, like these guys hate each other. Just have a Priest says, I know we ain't gonna be talking, and I already know those idiots are out there. Let's go. Throws on the mic, boom, bam, bam. We get to the beatdown segment. Perfect. I would have been like, great. Priest, yeah, he was an idiot coming out by himself, but the emotions got to him. He just knew what was coming. He just wants to get his hands on Finn Balor. We didn't need Balor holding Priest's hand, being like, and we're going to have a match at Bad Blood. Like, oh, I didn't know you guys were going to wrestle. Like, holy shit. Isn't that why we watch the show? So you guys could fight each other eventually? Like, I hated the talking, but the beatdown was great. Rhea was great. I hope Rhea at Bad Blood does what Kevin Nash did, where it's a fake injury this whole time. Liv, and she comes out in the crutch at Bad Blood. Liv and Dom are laughing, and then she just grabs the crutch, drops it, and then runs in, and the knee's good. I would love that goofiness. I'm here for it. But yeah, no, I liked it. But yeah, Jey Uso running in late, like, and then like just Jey Uso, like Braun Breaker had time to make fun of all the other people. Why couldn't he just come out and spear Jey Uso or something? I don't know. Like, yeah, this segment beatdown was great. Everything else, logic wise, it really felt like a Vince segment. This was a Vince McMahon like special, like that, and especially where it took place at the time. It's that 6 o'clock mark where it's just like, yep, Raw's going off the rails. We are just slowly going like, and then you know what was even more stupid? The LWO beef with the Judgment Day backstage. Why didn't the LWO come out with Jey Uso? That right there, then I would understand the numbers game. Like, oh shit, yeah, Jey Uso. But then the rest of the LWO, and especially because they had the dragon as what's her name? Jackie Redmond called her, like just Dragon, and Dominic were having a match. Like all this was just like, why couldn't LWO also run out for this?
You know how you fix this whole segment is you don't have Priest say, "I'm gonna listen to you," and then I'm gonna drop you. You just have before he comes out, because he came down like he was about to get in a fight anyway. You have Balor interrupt him and say, "Hey, you can get your hands on me, but you gotta listen to me first because I'm gonna give you what you want, a match at Bad Blood." And then they can have a little exchange on the mic before they get the brawl in. But by having Priest be the first one to talk when they're face to face and say, "Oh, I'm going to drop you, but I'm going to listen to you first." Why? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Priest, this is not your girlfriend who dumped you, and then you're just like, "Please, babe, like, I just want to hear what are the issues. Come on, tell me first." Like you're not 16. You're trying to figure out why your first girlfriend dropped you. Your best friend decided to stab you in the back. This should have your blood boiling. And I know many people from the Bronx and many Puerto Ricans. They would not just be like, "Oh, let me hear you talk first." That's a white person move. That's what I would do if I was a heel in this situation. Ben, I'm super mad at you, but can you can you explain to me, because my feelings were hurt and I really need to know. Like, that's what my race would do, not freaking a Puerto Rican from the Bronx.
Exactly. His whole thing is that he has a fiery temper and then he's willing to listen. We do have a super chat donation here from Will Chisholm. Thank you so much, Will. He says, I kind of surprised that Asuka stayed, but I guess her friends are in WWE. LOL. I wasn't surprised Asuka stayed because Asuka, despite a lot of people's issues with her booking, they have treated her so tremendously well in the last decade, and she seems loyal. Her, Io, Kyrie. I think Kyrie never wanted to leave in the first place. It was only because of really the pandemic, and she has her husband out there. That's why she left. So I think they're all staying long term with WWE there.
Yeah, Asuka. Also, too, it's just Asuka. Like, I don't know how visas work for the other companies when it comes to work visa thing, but Asuka's all in US now. Like, she lives in US and stuff. She has a house in Nevada. She lives in Vegas. Like, she says she doesn't want to leave. Like, I think she has like a studio apartment in Japan. Like, if you follow her YouTube channel, where I don't know what she does on there. She just kind of like walks around and just like speaks Japanese. And it's like, some subtitles would be nice. Like, I just want to know what you're saying in this video and stuff. One of the best videos is she visits like this like rundown Japanese wrestling bar. And the mom is like a huge fan, and she can't believe it's the real Asuka. It'll touch your heartstrings on a Monday afternoon. It's a good one. It's like her most viewed video. It's not hard to miss.
We got Vala B in the chat. He says, "This is why people shouldn't hold promos as the only form of storytelling, because Finn versus Priest will be a better match that tells that story than any promo segment between them." And it's the fact that Balor already explained why he turned on Priest the Monday on the Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam. Like, he already explained it.
Yeah, like, was Priest not watching? Was he just so hot in the back? He's like, "Oh, I didn't see that great video package that they put together."
No, he was in the ring and he was looking at the
he was. He was at the ring.
Like, did you forget? Oh my God.
Maybe this was the deal Netflix made with WWE. Hey, we'll release this. You can release this McMahon documentary, but Vince has to come back to some capacity. You heard it here first, guys. Babe, just saying, don't be surprised. Meltzer's like, yeah, Vince is back there. He's doing some stuff because this McMahon documentary that's supposed to be super duper crazy, 6 episodes, just tears McMahon apart or something. And they're like, not on our watch. WWE's like, you want this out there, you gotta let the old man come back for one last run.
Gotta let him book some stuff from home. We got it backstage. Speaking of what you were talking about earlier, the Judgment Day ran into LWO when they had an interview with Jackie Redmond ahead of Dragon Lee going one-on-one with Dominic Mysterio. Rey Mysterio called them the Addams family, while Finn Balor issued a warning, but Rey called them wannabe thugs that ran from a real fight when Jey Uso came out there to save the Terror Twins. Rey told Balor to stop hiding behind his El Stupido son and fight him tonight. And Balor agreed, so we got another big matchup added to the card for tonight on the season premiere. It was Rey Mysterio going one-on-one with Finn Balor later in the show. Any thoughts on this quick segment here?
Ray sounded like such a dad in this segment where he was all like, oh, here comes the Addams family. He thought that was the greatest diss. Not even like fake laughs from the LWO. They didn't even go, oh, good one, Ray, you got him. Like they were just kind of
you really
oh,
got
okay.
him, Ray.
Yeah, it's just like that. The best part of the segment where Dom once again says, you're a deadbeat. Hey, watch your tone, son. And it was just like, what was that supposed to do? Like, he doesn't listen to you anyways. Like, he hasn't listened to you in 2 years, Ray. Like, what do you expect yelling at him does? But yeah, no, cool. Ray versus Finn. Down for it. Let's go.
I was down for it as well. Backstage, we got the first of multiple interviews or talking segments with the members of the Fatal 4-Way #1 contenders matchup for the Intercontinental title. Braun Strowman had an interview with Jackie Redmond where he admitted that he was still banged up after what Bronson Reed did to him. The match last week didn't help his injuries either. It would take more than that to keep the monster down. A wounded monster was even more dangerous, but in came Braun Breaker. Braun agreed that Strowman was a monster, but Braun was a dog. And the only reason Strowman was still standing there was because they hadn't fought yet. Strowman warned him that he didn't know who he was talking to, and Braun hoped Strowman won and said that he see him around, and Braun called him a big SOB, referring to his big SOB t-shirt. I mean, it was the segment.
Yeah,
I did say, I was like, this will be a cool matchup in the future because Braun Strowman ain't winning this match.
Oh, yeah, no. I felt all these Braun Breaker promos were just so that way we could hype up anticipation for future opponents that he's going to face for those IC titles. So, yeah, because Braun, for being such a badass, sometimes, you're shocked how short he is. Like, he's not as tall as, like, most prototypical WWE builds. So, him sitting next to Strowman, but like showing that like he wasn't backing down, it added to like, yeah, this is why this guy's a badass. Where's dogs at? Like, I like what he said, but it just didn't, execute as well. So,
no, didn't come off too well there. But next up, does always come off well, is our WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, making their first defense of their second reign against the former champions, the unholy union of Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. Fire and Dawn gave Belair their double team finisher about 5 minutes into this matchup, but Cargill just barely broke up the cover. Fire super kicked Belair, but Cargill tagged herself in and booted Fire out of the ring. Belair and Cargill gave Fire their DDT German suplex combo, wheelbarrow German suplex combo, and picked up the win here. I think this match barely got like 7 minutes, finishing up just before the top of the hour and the end of our commercial-free portion of Monday Night Raw here. This was fine. It wasn't much of a match, though.
No, this was like so that way Testator could just ooze over Jade Cargill on commentary match. Like, do you see her, Wade? Oh my God, Jade Cargill! Like, it was like, man, this is the biggest Jade Cargill commercial since she's came to the WWE. Like, Testator was making it seem like she's done everything and stuff in the WWE. That her team with Bianca is just for fun and stuff. So, like, yeah, it was yeah. Nice seeing you out, Fire and Isla Dawn. Good luck on NXT. I'm sure you guys will be back there soon. Maybe SmackDown every so often. Blair Davenport, you can join them too. Lyra Valkyria is already making her trip back down there, sadly. So
poor girl. She's already making the trip back. I was like, God damn, you've only been on the main roster for like a few months. What you coming back for?
Yeah, to help the most pushed girl ever, Tatum Paxley. She needs that push even more. I swear to God, pushing her for nothing.
Later in the show, we did see Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair get approached by Io Sky and Kairi Sane of Damage Control. Sky congratulated them on the win, but told them to not get used to being champions. Sane had a bandage over her eyebrow because of the bleeding last week, and she made sure that the champ saw it. So, like we said last week, I think this is the main feud for the Women's Tag Team Championships that's coming.
Good. Kairi, I'm tired of you acting like you don't know English. You're the best English-Japanese talker in the company. Why'd you force Io to say this? Why couldn't you have said this? Like, trust me, you're not fooling me, Kairi. I've seen when you would do IG lives and you would speak perfect English. And I'm just like, wait, she can speak. I saw your WWE Road to the Main Roster little series that they had on YouTube, and you were like talking in beautiful English how you're going to miss all your friends and everything that NXT has brought to you. Why is Io, who is still learning, like her English is getting better, but why is Io cutting this promo? And it just sounds like I would have much rather had Io just speaking Japanese. Like, just let Io speak in Japanese. It's fine. It doesn't do anything.
That's some great Japanese promos.
Yeah, and Bianca and Jay could have just been like, what was that all about? Like, and stuff like that. Like, like we didn't need Io being like, good win. Now titles are us. It's like, no, don't do this to Io Sky.
Oh my God, dude. Oh man. Testator told us that we got our run in.
Oh, what's up, Harlem? How you doing today? She muted the mic. She ran in so fast she muted the mic.
Say hi, Chase.
Hi, Chase.
How's it going?
You got to do a spin. Do a spin for everyone. Do a spin. Show them your dress.
Yeah.
Because Chase sent a super chat and you never did the spin. So.
No, the doggy is in the sink.
The dog is in the sink?
You have a dog in the sink?
Yeah.
Are you washing him?
Super chat.
Oh, she's trained. She just said that.
Oh, you did it without me telling her.
Wow, she is trained. She's professional.
She's a professional. She's professional. You guys heard it. Send super chats. I didn't even have to ask her to say that. She knows. She knows the deal. But next up was probably my favorite part of this whole episode. You see Bret Hart backstage. He's up next for the start of the second hour. Testator and Wade Barrett were in the ring, and they introduced the WWE Hall of Famer, two-time WWE Hall of Famer, Bret the Hitman Hart. Hart entered to a huge ovation from his hometown of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Testator tries to speak, but the crowd was just loudly chanting for Bret. They love Bret the Hitman Hart. He's a folk hero in Calgary. Testator told the Calgary fans that WWE would return to Canada for Survivor Series in Vancouver and announced that tickets were on sale on Friday. And I'm just like, okay, is that the reason why we brought out Bret?
Yeah.
Barrett asked Bret what it felt like to be back in WWE in Calgary. Hart said this was the place to be. No one took more pride in being a champion than him, especially being a Canadian champion. Canadian champions don't back down from a challenge, and we prove it every night. And he did just that for 20 years when he proved that he was the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I think that's the first time I heard the crowd unanimously saying that catchphrase at the same time. That was great. But all of that champion talk, I was like, I saw the report, so I already knew what was coming. But the champion talk, I was like, okay, you're telegraphing who's supposed to come out here. The world heavyweight champion Gunther came out to interrupt. The crowd loudly booed Gunther, and Gunther just been getting more and more heat ever since the Damian Priest rivalry. He just gets more and more heat every week, and interrupting Bret Hart in Calgary, he was going to get some heat here. Hart was amused by Gunther interrupting. Gunther calls him one of his childhood heroes. Gunther called him the best there was, but Gunther was in fact the best there is and the best there ever will be. And he tells Bret Hart that he says he's got to be honest. Bret was a close second to his real favorite. And I was like, for the past 20 years, past 30 years, WWE basically been using the same thing of, get heat in Canada by saying Shawn Michaels in regards to Bret Hart. But no, he comes out and gets nuclear heat, proves himself to be the best heel and villain in WWE because he says, my actual real favorite was Bill Goldberg. Bret didn't even get mad. Bret couldn't even help smiling through this because because no one calls him Bill Goldberg except for Bret Hart. Everyone calls him Goldberg except for Bret Hart. This was great. Oh my God. And the crowd ate it up, booing about the building for that. This brings out Sami Zayn, the man that challenged Gunther last week for the World Heavyweight Championship. He comes out to a huge reaction from these crowds. He's wearing a Johnny Hockey Calgary Flames jersey, the late great that passed away this week. Zayn said Gunther had a lot of nerve standing in Calgary, talking to Bret the Hitman Hart that way. Gunther shouldn't joke about Hart being a hero because Hart was a Canadian hero. He was a hero to everyone in the city and to everyone every wrestler in the back who still studied his matches to this day. And more importantly, he's a hero to me. Zayn said that Gunther may hold the title now, but Hart set the tone for what it meant to be a champion. And Zayn challenged him to a title match last week. And what did Gunther do? He ran away. Zayn challenged him again, and Gunther just laughs it off. He says Hart wasn't in his league, and Zayn wasn't even close to being in Hart's league. Gunther's answer was still no. He leaves the ring and leaves the Canadians in the ring alone. Bret the Hitman Hart, though, he gets on the mic. He reacts to this, and he says that Gunther didn't look like a champion to him. He looked like a coward, a dirty, yellow, gutless coward. I was like, yes, that's the Bret Hart I remember. He's got to add dirty, yellow. Gunther seems offended. He even removes his jacket and wants to go after the WWE Hall of Famer. But Sami Zayn leaves the ring and gets in Gunther's face. Zayn blocks Gunther from punching him with his right hand and goes full throttle against Gunther, actually getting the upper hand in a brawl against Gunther until officials break it up. And Zayn gets back into the ring as Gunther leaves, and Zayn hugs Bret the Hitman Hart. This was a great segment and a very effective use of Bret the Hitman Hart. It got more heat on Gunther disrespecting a legend in his hometown of Calgary, where, like I said, he's a folk hero. It made Sami Zayn come off like the ultimate, it kind of was like an endorsement of Sami Zayn being the next great Canadian wrestler to represent Canada in this way. This was so well done, and man, they already announced like 3 matches from Monday Night Raw for Bad Blood, but you got to give us Sami Zayn and Gunther at Bad Blood. You can't do this on TV. This feels like a legitimate PLE pay-per-view title match to do. And Sami Zayn came off well. Gunther, though, he is the best heel in the company and top 3 in the world today. He's one of already top 3 wrestlers in the world, but heel characters, he has just come into his own between the Damian Priest feud, the stuff with Randy Orton, and this might have been his best villain moment of his title reign so far.
And it's even funnier too, because if you look at Gunther's past interviews and stuff, he has mentioned he does like Bill Goldberg. It's not like this is like some fake shit. He has said, oh yeah, I always liked Bill Goldberg. I thought he was cool and stuff like that. Like, he's mentioned that Bill Goldberg was one of his favorites in the past. And then also, was it that Clash at the Castle? He said, yeah, Bret didn't respect me after my match. He didn't have some kind words. Yeah, he was like, he didn't have some kind words about it and stuff. I don't really care what this guy thinks and stuff. So Gunther, oh my God, when he said Bill Goldberg, I had to double take. I was like, there is this not like if you didn't watch this episode of Raw and AI is scary good, you would think this is some AI BS. No, this was the real deal. Bret even had to like normally Stone Cold Bret, he had to even chuckle at that one. And I just love it that Gunther being the proud champion. It's just he feels so real. This reminds me of those boxer UFC foreign champions don't want to fight the real contenders. They're just like, nope, you're not worthy in my eyes. I'll fight the guy 2 levels below you, but you, I'm sorry, Sami, not interested. I absolutely love it because, Gunther, if you look at it from character standpoint, probably doesn't want to face the guy that ended his IC title reign. So it makes sense for Gunther to kind of be all like, nah, but he doesn't come up as like a coward shit heel. He comes up as like, no, he has his own logic, his own reasoning, and you can understand why he should have that logic and reasoning. He broke it down last week.
But it also makes him the heel in this scenario because he's denying he's not the fighting champion that all the other baby faces are.
Yeah, he's all like, no, I want to fight someone that I deem worthy. You're not worthy enough, Sami Zayn. And yeah, Bret Hart. So my friend, he used to play for the Calgary Stampeders. I went to Calgary one time. And he said, Chase, you're going to love it here. Just ask any old fucker about Bret Hart, and you'll be talking to them for hours. And I'm like, really? Like, he's that big? He goes, Chase, it is insane. And it wouldn't fail. I talked to like 20 people about Bret Hart when I was in Calgary. Some people said they went to high school with him. Some people said, I don't know what to believe. I don't know what stories were true or not. But it was crazy. I could be like, yeah, man, like I watch wrestling, Bret Hart, one of my favorites. Oh, Bret, let me tell you. And they'll just go on stories about this guy. So yeah, like perfect place to do it. Yeah, this was a home run segment. This is a home run segment. And yeah, I hope they get the PLE treatment. Like doing this on a Raw before the PLE, like, come on, man. Like, we can't be doing that. Unless Roman, I understand if Roman wants to wrestle Bad Blood. I get it. Got to make time for my 30-minute Roman epic. So I always have the Roman bias. I'll always give a slide to Roman. By the way, should have been in the PWI top 10. I don't care if he hasn't wrestled. He's still a needle mover, still draws business.
He didn't have 10 total matches.
He had 10 matches in my mind. All the matches he had with Cody and Rock counted as 5. That counted as 5 matches. So much work rate. 40 minutes per night. Like show me someone that could do that. Roman Reigns, greatest GOAT.
The great Roman Reigns. You mentioned it. We gotta say congratulations to Cody Rhodes, #1 in the PWI 500. Swerve Strickland, the highest since The Rock, African American wrestler, to finish #2 in the PWI 500. Will Ospreay was #3. So we'll talk more about the PWI 500 on True Hill Heat. 294 coming up this Saturday, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. But we do have a super chat donation here. Thank you so much, Vala B, for joining us and sending that love. He says, damn, she's trained now, paying tax. Yeah, he's paying the Harlem tax. Everybody's got to pay the Harlem tax because she's taking over this channel. It's gonna probably be a channel where she like reviews toys, maybe at the time.
Hey, that makes a lot of money for these kids. That Ryan's Toy World kid is like a billionaire, and he can't even access his money.
Oh, we got Brandon Brown in the chat, one of our members. Thank you so much. You could become a member by hitting that join button, $1 a month, gets you in chat perks. He says, speaking of Japanese, where is Nakamura? He's surfing, bro.
Yeah. Come on, you guys should know when the male Japanese talent come to any American promotion, they are taking their time to coast. They already served their time with the strong Puro style. They don't need like everyone's like, oh, Okada. No, I knew this. I knew when Okada signed to one American promotion, we'll get one Okada Bainer every quarter. We're not looking for Okada Bainers every week. Like you guys need to understand.
He gave you 3 great matches last week. I don't think we're getting another great match for like another 2 months.
Yeah, like
he gave you the Fletcher. The Fletcher one was a banger. The multi-man matchup with the Elite versus BCC and Pac on a Collision was great. And then the 4-way was so much fun at All Out. He's done for the month. He's done for probably until October.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you guys need to understand, this is what they do. They're happy. Like look at Nakamura. Came in on fire. And then once those main roster checks were hitting, he said, I'm good. I'm chilling. They made him win the Rumble, and then Vince realized, oh, this guy just wants to surf and make money. He doesn't want to be champion. Fuck it, AJ, you're still our champion. Like, that's it. Like, they're here to coast, guys. They served their time in Japan, because you guys gotta understand, this American money they're making is just bang for them when they go back to Japan, and they don't have to do jack shit all for the rest of their lives. So look, I get it. If you want great Shinsuke Nakamura, go back to 2010, 2009, 2007. There's the tapes out there. New Japan World is $9.99. It's not that expensive. Go watch that. You're not getting that here. Okay? Same with Okada. Every quarter we'll get something from him. But I knew once AEW signed Okada, I said, he's going to be coasting. And I'm okay with it. He has earned the right to coast. All right?
Yes.
Yes.
All-time
I do not care if they want to coast. Like, it does not bug me. I understand. I get it. Like, look at Tanahashi. Tanahashi puts zero effort when he comes to Naito puts zero effort when he comes to Tanahashi at the American shows acts like he can't climb a turnbuckle. It's like the greatest thing ever, man. Like, I'm just like, oh, my dog. He knows what he's doing.
Braun approaches Pete Dunne next. He's about to call him Butch, but Dunne told him not to. Dunne said that he would win tonight, then smash Trick Williams tomorrow, win the NXT championship, and then smash Braun for the IC title. Then Braun could call him double champion. Braun mocked Dunne's shrug and smirk and said that if they did fight, Dunne would be doing a lot of shrugging and wondering at what the hell just happened. And Braun wished him luck. This led to Braun leaving, and then Sheamus came through. He flew in and clobbered Dunne with a big knee. Sheamus then tried to attack him with the shillelagh, but Dunne bailed, and officials held them back. I was glad they did this here instead of in the Fatal 4-Way, because I already knew we were going to get one other interference in that 4-Way.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm glad they did it here, but this was Vince segment number 2 that felt like one, because Braun was making sure, okay, Pete, all right, Pete, like, just trying to get over to stop it. No one's going to call him Butch. No, like, I get it. You guys want to get this over, that Pete Dunne gets triggered when you call him Butch. It's Can we just make him a good wrestler? Like, not every wrestler needs this goofy gimmick. Just make him good wrestler Pete Dunne. We can have good wrestler Ilya and good wrestler Pete Dunne. It's not going to counter conflict. They're good wrestler gimmicks. Like, oh my God. But and he's not going to be Trick Williams tonight. Like, what are we doing?
I knew he wasn't going to win either of these things. I was like, what are you talking about? You're not going to win.
Pete Dunne. Do we know Pete Dunne's contract? Is he almost free? Can he go somewhere else, please?
I think he re-signed too. I think he re-signed.
Oh, fucking A, dude. These guys are just getting paid too much money, and they're just like, oh, we don't want to take. I miss the business I love. You guys need to take these risks again. Come on, be like Cody. Be like Drew. Oh,
nope.
Man.
Nope. Dominic Mysterio was next with the Judgment Day. He went one-on-one with Dragon Lee, 2/3 of our triple threat last week with Ilya Dragunov. This was Dragon Lee's first singles match on Monday Night Raw since June, when he lost to Carlito. Lee hit Dom with a double foot stomp out of the corner while Dom was hung up. McDonough placed Dom's foot on the rope to get a rope break, and this led to a huge brawl between both the Judgment Day and the LWO on the outside. They fought to the back as officials and referees basically led them. The referee inside was distracted, which led to Liv Morgan getting a chop block on Dragon Lee, similar to the one she did to Rhea Ripley earlier in the night. And Dom follows up with a 619 as well as the frog splash while blowing a kiss to Morgan on the top rope before doing it, and gets the 1-2-3. Dom picking up a win here. This was another just fine matchup. Nothing inoffensive. But damn, Dragon Lee can't buy a win on his own.
Dude, man, my Dragon Lee stock looking like crap right now, man. I had high hopes for this guy. Like, I still do. But man, what is it? Why can't we just get this guy away from the LW? Why can't he be the new Rey Mysterio? Be the Dragon Lee on SmackDown? Like, he just comes out, has Boehner. Oh, I guess that's Carmelo Hayes and Andrade's gimmick, but who cares?
Yeah.
I would love if Dragon Lee, like Triple H, it's okay. You and Tony Khan steal each other's work. Look what Tony Khan's doing with that hologram gimmick. Do this with Dragon Lee and stuff like that. Change his name. No more Dragon Lee. Change his name. Do something. Make it where he's your own character. Make people forget he's Dragon Lee, because this guy should be so much more fun. And it's like, oh, okay, like he's just there to progress an angle between the LW1 Judgment Day. Where's this going? I don't know. Not a tag team title defense, because obviously another tag team has to get a tag team title defense. Then the LWO, who's feuding with whatever. But yeah, no. I just say what, like, it's not that Dom's not talented. It's just more of like you have Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro in this faction. They can't eat the pinfall. Like, yes, Dragon Lee and Dom, when they wrestle for whatever reason, Dragon Lee elevates Dom to being like a pretty good in-ring worker. Because remember, they have great chemistry. That's great.
Yeah, they've had great matches in the past together. So, yeah. I get it.
I get it.
I do get it in that way.
I get that you want to make Dom look good in the ring, but if someone's going to lose here, much rather Cruz del Toro or Joaquin Wilde than Dragon. Like, I haven't seen Cruz del Toro wrestle. Like, what does this guy do? He's just there. At least Joaquin Wilde springs board off the ropes. I don't know what this guy does. Like, who was he before? What was his gimmick before Cruz del Toro? What was he on the indies? I don't even know. I need to watch some matches, because I need to know, is he just there because like catering's good, he collects a good paycheck? What's going on?
Hey, catering's dope in WWE, from what I hear. We do have another super chat donation here from Will Chisholm, killing the game as usual. Thank you, Will. He says, why do you think Japanese men do coast, but some Japanese women still try to go hard even if they get the US checks? I think that it's harder for women, and women in general in professional wrestling usually don't have that much time as much as like the men. Like Shinsuke Nakamura is nearly at a decade in WWE. Like next year makes his ninth year in the company since he came over. Whereas like, so when Asuka's about to hit the 10-year mark next year herself, and that's why I understand her re-signing with the company, and she'll probably go hard when she makes her return, because the women have like a short shelf life in general in professional wrestling. It shouldn't be that way, because some of the women are much better than a lot of these men, but that's the way it is in general in professional wrestling.
Also, it's like the Japanese culture too. It's like the women, they have to go harder, like for most women, when you do wrestling in Japan, it's like kind of deemed that like you failed at something else. Like you failed being an idol, you failed being an actress, you failed doing this. Wrestling is like you did that. People respect it, but it's more of like, you failed at doing other things, so you reverted to wrestling, and that's the only thing you're talented at. So they don't know anything else but to work hard to prove that no, we are talented at this art. And women, Japanese wrestling for women have had a drastic change than it was 10 years ago. Like, nowadays, like a lot of Japanese men don't like Japanese women's wrestling. They just don't. They don't fuck with it whatsoever. Like, they just look at it as just like, oh, I don't want to see this beautiful woman get beat up. That's not what I like, and stuff like that. Like, to them, it's such a foreign concept. For us, we like it and stuff. So like, but it's way more advanced than it was 10 years ago and stuff. Because before, it was just, you failed at doing this, you're doing this because of that. Or, oh, you're working a dead-end job because you're working your 9 to 5, you hated it, so you said, let me try this out. That's what Asuka was doing. She was working for Microsoft, and she said, nope, not doing this anymore. Let me go ahead and be a wrestler. So I just think it's just inbred in their culture, while Japanese men, they kind of get whatever the fuck they want. Like, they get whatever they want. Minoru Suzuki is like a kingpin over there, bro. Like, he gets to do whatever. He's been doing this shit since I remember seeing this guy in '98, and I was like, he's still wrestling. I'm like, damn.
Yep, much different.
I love Murder
now.
Grandpa.
We get Joe Tessitore. He speaks about the tragic deaths of Johnny and Matthew Grudot. Johnny played for the Calgary Flames for 8 full seasons. Jackie Redmond did an amazing job of kind of talking about their passing, and the arena's exterior was covered in tributes. She talked about the Johnny and the fact that he was being called Johnny Hockey, and they send their condolences to the Grudot brothers and their families. She called him a special player who was magical to watch and a pleasure to interview. You can hear Redmond getting choked up, and they sent their condolences to the two wives. This was a very well done tribute
Yeah.
and sending a lot of love to the family, which passed away tragically due to a drunk driver. So, our thoughts and condolences as well to the family and to their wives. What did you think about this whole tribute that they did here?
I especially got touched. I've actually met Johnny a couple times in Calgary, and he's a good kid. And he was like, hockey wise, I didn't watch. I'm a Sharks fan, so watching hockey is like pain and misery for me and stuff. But I knew he was a good player for what he was. Like, I asked people compare it to me in NBA terms, and they say he's like Kemba Walker, like a little bit smaller, but he would have those flashy plays and he would do stuff that would say, "Oh wow, this guy's fun." Never was one of the best players in the league, but definitely like one of the best like role players that you could get in the league. And it's such a sad story, celebrate the day of his sister's wedding, and they get hit by a drunk driver and stuff. It sucks, man, because he was just like a generally good kid. And like, Calgary, they were even sad to lose him because he just wanted to move back. He wanted to go play for Columbus, and it was because he wanted to live closer to home and stuff. And they were willing to give him a bag just to keep him because he meant so much as a locker room leader for that team. So yeah, no, he was a good guy too. Like, every time I met him, like, just super chill. Like, I didn't know he played hockey when I first met him. I was like, "Oh yeah, so what do you do?" He goes, "I'm in the NHL." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And so I didn't know. And then he told me, I was like, "Oh wait, you Johnny Hockey?" I was like, "Damn, I didn't put two and two together." And so, because he's my height, he's a small guy. Like, he's a very small guy in person. He's just a 5'9", 135-pound kid, but didn't look like it on the rink.
That's what's up, man. But yeah, RIP, thoughts and condolences to their family and their wives for sure. Sonya Deville and the PFC Pure Fusion Collective came out for a 6-woman tag team action next. Deville interrupted the entrance of Lyra Valkyria and called their mystery partner out. And who was it? It was, of course, the person we all guessed it would be, Natalya. She wore red and black, as did Zelina Vega had red and white on, and Lyra Valkyria had a mix of both. This was a very short matchup. It went just under 7 minutes. Natalya made the hot tag after a commercial break. She went for the sharpshooter on Zoe Stark, but her teammates pulled her out of the ring. Vega and Valkyria wiped them out. Natalya once again went for the sharpshooter again. Deville and Baszler tried to interfere, but Vega put Deville in the walls of Jericho, while Valkyria put her in the Lance Storm single leg crab. So it was all the great famous leg Canadian submissions at one time. Natalya gets the sharpshooter on Zoe Stark, and Zoe taps out. The crowd popped big for the finish as the babyfaces picked up the win. And then when we came back from commercial break, we saw backstage Bret the Hitman Hart congratulating Natalya on her return and the victory. He hugs her, and she spoke with Valkyria and Vega, and Natalya put over Bret and said that it was Hart country here, but Bret wanted to make sure that she knew this moment was for Natalya. It was a matchup for the finish, basically. It was all about the finish. The finish got a big pop. That's all that matters.
Yep, the pure useless collective, as I like to call them now. They're just, Triple H once again, former faction. They don't do shit. They do one thing. Okay, cool, and then they lose. Oh, awesome. Pure useless. Like, this is why Damage Control is called Damaged Goods for like weeks and stuff. Like, them losing does nothing for them. It makes me want to change the channel quicker when they come on TV. Them and Karrion Kross are on
the music change was awful. Oh my god, that music is so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah, definitely on the bottom barrel of Def Rebel. Like, Def Rebel, you had Ethan Page and Jacob Fatu going for you. What happened? You guys were on a good streak, and then you just walked into that grenade and you lost your kill streak. So that sucks. But yeah, happy for Natty. She got a moment. That's cool. Bag in a moment. Good for you. You're doing the Hart family proud. Getting the bag in the moment. Cool.
Drew McIntyre was out next to kick off the third hour of Monday Night Raw. The crowd chanted for CM Punk. He laughed at a couple of fan signs that had CM Punk and one fan that had the tape on his wrist, so basically socks and the X's on it. He encouraged them to keep chanting and even joined them because now when they chant Punk's name, it was simply in memory of Punk. McIntyre said Punk's words last week were poetic. Punk screwed him out of the title 3 times this year. McIntyre pinned him at SummerSlam, and Punk was an arrogant prick who thought that they were done just because he touched some corners faster than him. McIntyre completely burying the strap match rules. McIntyre made Punk a bigger star since January, and he would have to live with that. But he also was the one who ended CM Punk's career. It was time to move on to the future and what mattered most around here, himself. First on the list was obviously the world title, which he's been screwed out of. Also on the list was the movie he starred in. He's making his Hollywood debut alongside the Animal, Dave Bautista. But next on his list involved Wade Barrett. McIntyre spoke about their friendship, that they lived together, and they even got arrested together. But Barrett stood up for him on commentary, while commentators like Michael Cole called him a hypocrite. So McIntyre wondered why Barrett stood in his way when it was finally time for him to get revenge and end CM Punk. McIntyre wasn't angry with Wade. He was just disappointed. He gets out the ring and he says, but if Wade did it again, he would be angry and would do something about it. Barrett removed his headset and got to his feet. He said something off the mic, was really like, you're going to come at me? Like, I've been your biggest defender. What the fuck? This brought out Raw general manager Adam Pearce, who apologized to Tess and Wade for interrupting, but he says Pearce didn't think McIntyre actually wanted to fight his friend and told him to get back into the ring because he had some information he needed to hear. McIntyre called Pearce a corporate suit, the type of suit that CM Punk likes to kiss the arse of, and Pearce said that he spoke to Punk. And Punk was not done with McIntyre. McIntyre laughed, and Drew didn't believe Pearce, but he indulged him anyway. McIntyre said that Pearce was signing CM Punk's death certificate if he was telling the truth, and Pearce thought that they were done, but they realized that they weren't. So he signed a rematch at Bad Blood between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Drew says, all right, we'll have one more fight, one more match, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre the third time. And Pearce said that this would be, in fact, the end of this whole thing because it would be Punk McIntyre in October, Bad Blood, inside Hell in a Cell. The crowd cheered for the announcement. It wasn't a super loud pop, not in comparison to the Bret Hart segment earlier in the show, but a good response to set up the final encounter between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, which should be the main event for Bad Blood coming up in October. What did you think about this segment with Drew McIntyre coming at Wade Barrett and then Adam Pearce announcing the third and final match between him and Punk?
It did its job. Like, Drew was good,
yeah.
And then Adam Pearce came out, and then I was just like, I don't need to hear you talk. Come, shut up. But Adam Pearce announcing the match did not feel the same as if, like, CM Punk was on an angry tirade, and he was like, you want me, Drew? Fine! We can do this inside hell! That's when I think
that would have got a big pop. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, no, Adam Pearce being CM Punk's puppet, and he's like, oh, well, you can go inside out. Like, what, are you feuding with Drew or is Punk is? Why are you so hyped up announcing it? It's not like Regal with the War Games where you get all excited about it. So, fine. It was good. It did its job. Tessator was very excited. He's like, oh, yeah, Hell in a Cell. He was excited. So
he's like, I get to see one. Nice.
No, Michael Cole is like, hey, Tess, Saturdays are for me. Go call your college football game, buddy.
He's like, you're gonna be busy. I got this.
Yeah.
I got this. But yeah, good segment overall. Yeah, we should mention this. Follow B mentioned it in the chat. You think Punk knew about WWE trying to sell the friendship bracelets even without giving the original creator a cut? What a dumb decision. What type of like CM Punk has established that this was made by a fan. Why wouldn't you contact the fan before trying to make replicas?
Well, so they did finally remove the bracelet off WWE shop. So I'm gonna say this. Yes, Punk obviously knew. The guy's a bag chaser. He just wants his money. So 100% CM Punk knew. And then 100% because CM Punk's like, oh no, this will hurt my image if they find out I'm getting royalty checks on this. He immediately called him and said, remove this off the thing. So Punk looks like a good. He's the ultimate finesser, but CM Punk's my favorite hypocrite of all time. Like I hate him and I love him at the same time. The weirdest relationship I have with the wrestler right now is how much I hate the guy, but I love him at the same time. It's just so funny. But yeah, no, he definitely knew. He green-lighted it. He said, yeah, I think it'd be a great idea. I think, I say I'm the Taylor Swift for men. Imagine people walking around with my CM Punk. Like, and the stupid part was, it was like an exact replica. It said AJ and Larry on there. Like, I understand if you're like
why don't you get it like made where you can get like different people's names on it at least?
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're gonna say like make it like like a friendship bracelet and you want to start with Punk, just make a generic CM Punk bracelet and stuff. And yeah, maybe the creator will be upset that now they're selling friendship bracelets or whatever. But hey, it's at least different. This was exact to the bead, one-of-one replica that they're trying to sell, and hopefully they cancel any orders of that because that sucks for the creator. She tweeted it was made for CM Punk. It wasn't made to be sold and stuff. And I hope that WWE, look, I don't know what they'll do, but hopefully they hook her up with free tickets to the event. I hope Punk at least takes her backstage so she can meet other wrestlers. Like do something to make up for this because that was scummy. That was so disgusting. And yes, CM Punk definitely knew. Like I don't want to hear anyone say no Punk. He would never. No, the Punk maybe 10 years ago that was angry all the time. He wouldn't do this. CM Punk now the bag chaser, the ultimate finesser. Oh, he did this, and then afterwards because he knew it hurt his public image. How many times, guys, in that Ariel Helwani interview? How many times did he change the story of what happened in AEW? Like every single time. You should know this is what Punk does best. He is the best talker of all time. Because he is able to manipulate stuff where you go, I don't know if it's true, but I believe him. Like that's what CM Punk does best. So we know when people are gonna, and this is gonna be asked, he's gonna be like, yeah, I saw that and I was really annoyed. The fan gave that to me as a gift, and I never want to capitalize off people, making money. Other places may do that using my name to make money, but I would never capitalize off that. Get a shot in AEW in there because that's what Punk does best in these. And then afterwards, afterwards he goes, I didn't know it was happening at the time because I was too busy doing whatever the heck random hobby CM Punk likes. He'll say that. And then he said, once I found out, I called shop and we got rid of it. He'll say that. You say, see, Punk's not a bad guy, but I'm the good guy.
He's either the hero or the victim. Every story he tells.
Yeah, he's the main protagonist in life. It's CM Punk's world. We're all just NPCs in it. We're not even living in it. We're just NPCs that he gets that annoyed. Send him side missions that he doesn't want to do. What? You want me to do this? Fuck you.
We do have a super chat donation once again from Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck. He says, "Okay, guys, we've seen Nigel come back in the rain to the rain. What are the chances for Wade?" This did kind of seem like they were like at least teasing or hinting at a possible Wade Barrett maybe in a match with Drew McIntyre, because especially since the announcement was just for Hell in a Cell and not a loser leaves the brand. If Drew's going to be on the show still, he's going to need some stuff that keeps him away from CM Punk. A rivalry with his former friend Wade Barrett and drawing Wade Barrett back into the ring. That's interesting enough.
Yeah, and because also too, Wade's kind of the odd man out in the commentary team because I'm assuming once Raw goes on Netflix, we're back to Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, and then SmackDown will be Tessator and Corey Graves. They're not going to bump Graves off there.
I think they're going to do a 3-man with them.
No, don't do that. Just Wade, come back and wrestle. You got this, bud. I think you're fine. I think Jack Swagger's no longer there. He can no longer hurt you. The boogeyman's gone. He won't be able to ram you into a barricade and ruin your push anymore. There's no more bad worker. Well, there are bad workers, but there's no more insane, unsafe human beings that will try to kill you. Maybe Bronson Reed, but other than that, you should be fine. A good program, like do what Booker T did. Remember when he came back for Cody? He was just like, I'll come back for like 5 matches. Do that.
Speaking of bad workers, Karrion Kross was next.
No, TikTok.
Sorry. I like Karrion Kross. Let me not do that. Karrion Kross spoke to The Miz and wanted to help him out of his rut. Xavier Woods stepped in and Kross left. He said that he was trying to do the same thing that he did to him to The Miz. Miz knew what Karrion was trying to do, but admitted that Kross wasn't wrong about him being in a rut. Woods tried to talk some sense into The Miz about him defending the WWE Championship against John Cena at WrestleMania, and Miz appreciated Woods' words, but he didn't understand. Miz left. Kofi Kingston then approached Woods, who was sort of cosplaying as Bret Hart. He called him Bret, and Kingston informed him that while he was cosplaying last week, he got them a tag team title matchup. Woods said, oh, well, the last time we were talking, we spoke about going after singles titles, but he's fine with being tag team champions, and it would be a great way to celebrate their 10th anniversary as New Day. I like the New Day portion of this backstage segment because you can tell the passive-aggressive tones from both. Now, Kofi and Xavier have passive-aggressive tones. Kofi saying the whole, oh, you were cosplaying with your friends. And then Wood saying, well, we were supposed to be going after singles title. Now you want to tell, okay, whatever. And like, I like the dynamic right now. And it feels like we're getting closer and closer, but they're going to drag it off as long as possible, like 8 Down Under on SmackDown, for this eventual turn on one another.
Yeah, I'm sure Triple H promised them, we'll do this at Mania. And he's just like, how do I get there to Mania? Fuck, didn't think that far in advance. And so just drag it on. It's a side story on Raw. The video package will save it. It's okay. My favorite part where Woods is like, yeah, tag title match. But hey, that means more pay when we go to the paywall. So yay, that's cool, awesome. And he was he was great. The New Day portion was great because you can tell there's like a lot of tension, but yeah, Karrion Kross feuding with The Miz. Who is this for? Like, who's this benefiting? Like this feels like something.
It's gonna be even worse. It's gonna be Awesome Truth versus Final Testament. Two of the worst acts in WWE right now.
Dude, the downfall of Karrion Kross needs to be studied. It's like once he put on that Spartan helmet, everything just disappeared. And then I said this before. I hate his long hair. I know in interviews I want to grow it out to look like the Undertaker. Dude, you look so much better bald. You're one of those people where it's like you got to be bald. Like you can't have this hair. Ever since he grown out that hair, I called him the used car salesman. He just looks like a used car salesman. He looks like and he's selling me not even like good cars. They like these cars have like 10,000, 12,000. They're on their last leg used car. Like he's running a shady business. And then when you add the AOP who did their shady thing on the independents, doesn't help any. And I'm like, oh my God. I hate this Final Testament. The book of the chapter with Xavier Woods, it just got rid up real quickly. We were just like, oh, so what happened? What was the ending there? Nothing. We just moved on. We're now on to the like. Why does he want The Miz? Like, what?
It put over someone who's now fired from the company. The whole Xavier Woods portion. So.
That's true. Yeah, he's gone. But yeah, no, I don't know why is he fixated on losers? Like, I don't get the. And, I just hate the Final Testament. I like Karrion Kross. Just go back, shave your head, have Scarlett be the talker. Scarlett, go back to wearing crazy dresses. Do that. Like this gimmick with your hair. It's let it go, buddy. Like, and I'm sorry, it looked like you added 20 pounds by just having that hair. Like you got to shave it. You just go back. Like his downfall needs to be studied because man, I remember seeing him in Impact. I was like, wow, this guy has something. And in NXT, Triple H. You know, everyone says it was done when Adam Cole roasted him on the mic, which is true.
Yeah.
But that I think the Spartan helmet was like the Monstars from Space Jam. It just took away all his talent. His talent got taken away afterwards. It was just like Vince has that helmet somewhere, and we need this talent back on Karrion Kross. Like I've never seen someone just like that.
Next up, we had the Rey Mysterio versus Finn Balor matchup. Rey hit a early dive on Finn before we went to a commercial break. Balor was in control when we came back from commercial break, the regular Raw formula. Ray came back and made a comeback, but Balor caught his 619 attempt, and he applied a single leg crab in between the middle rope. The referee gave us the longest 5 count ever, and Balor did not let go and got himself disqualified as a result. After the matchup, after the disqualification, the referee tried to help Mysterio out of the ring. Mysterio stood on the apron, so Balor hit him with a drop kick against the ring post, and then he saw him getting up at ringside, and he decides to drop kick him again into the video wall against the apron. Finn Balor looking strong, stronger than he's looked in weeks. And then after the fact, we got a Judgment Day promo, a quick promo with Balor saying that the Judgment Day took care of business tonight. They took care of the LWO. They took care of the Terror Twins, and come Bad Blood, he's going to take care of Damian Priest once and for all, while Liv Morgan says that she will take care of Rhea Ripley and that she will never get her hands on the Women's World title or Dominic Mysterio ever again. What did you think about Balor and Mysterio and the promo by the Judgment Day?
Yeah, Mysterio wasn't losing clean. He told Triple H that doesn't work for him, hombre. He's going to be making sure that Finn can look good, but he ain't pinning me on the shoulders. No, I'm super important to protect. Yeah, I like that.
I was like, Finn couldn't win this. Couldn't just win this match. Like, really?
Yeah, like couldn't get a pin on Rey Mysterio in 2024. Nope, got big plans for Rey. Another match with Dominic at WrestleMania. Great. Liv is completely single for sure, because the way that she's forcing Dom to make sure that she is in certain areas, guys, slide in those DMs. You might have a chance. Who knows? I'm just giving you a heads up. If you guys are watching, slide in those DMs. You might get lucky with Liv Morgan. She is completely single. Dom is looking like, like, oh, I hope my wife is not seeing where any part of my body is with Liv Morgan, because Liv is loving that she has some type of man that can hold her. Like, she's loving this. Like, every minute they get, they're always holding each other. It's Liv single 100%. SP3, I was gonna say, I was hoping to get the best SP3 rant of the local medical facility. It made its return after all this time. Joe Tessitore let us know that it's a local medical facility. We never got an update how Priest is doing, by the way. Jackie Redmond did not give us an update. Jackie, I understand, very emotional about Johnny Hockey, but I'll let it slide. But yeah, I was waiting for you to put an SP3.
I was more upset. I was more upset with Balor not getting a damn win in this matchup. Exactly. More than I said it earlier in the show that they said Rhea and Damian were sent to a local medical facility, and I was just like, I'm numb to this at this point. I'm numb to it.
They were doing so well. Michael Cole was saying hospital, and then Joe Tessitore. Vince was in the air. Call it a local medical facility. We don't want to think they have cancer or anything. You're like, what? No, you could just go to a hospital when you're hurt and stuff. But yeah, no, I don't understand. Like, Balor is just one of those guys. Like, clearly, like, they like him, but they don't like him a lot, where he can't get these big wins and stuff. And it's like, it's so frustrating to watch. Like, he can win the tag titles, and if there's no one else in the mid-card scene that they want to push, he can win that belt. But when it comes to like getting especially in feuds, I can't think of the last feud where Balor was like, oh yeah, he looks like the better of the person in this feud. Like, the only moment that he had was probably the Edge feud when he made Edge say I quit. That was the only time, but still, that took like all of Judgment Day, but he still looked like a badass in that moment. But yeah, I can't think of it. It's like he's such a weirdly booked superstar, and it's like, it's frustrating because he's so good, and it's just like they just refuse to like make him into the big star that he can be. It's like, come on, guys. Like, we did with Becky Lynch, we can do it with Finn Balor. Like, it's not rocket science.
He trained her. Why can't you get a bone? Like, what?
He trains all these people, and they just take away everything. They don't give him no royalty checks or anything like that. He makes a lot of money. He's probably made a lot of money in his career, so I think he's set. Yeah. But yeah, no, I would have just liked Balor to get like a huge win before Damian Priest. And it's like even with this vicious attack, I'm not like, well, Priest is screwed. Not only did he go to the local medical facility, Balor's a different beast. No, it's like Priest is probably just gonna do one south of heaven. That's it. Like, come on, guys. Like, what are we doing? Triple H.
Put a little more effort into this, Triple H. I'm begging you. All right, time to talk about the main event. Before the main event, Ilya Dragunov told Jackie Redmond that he had a chance at taking care of some unfinished business with Braun Breaker if he won the Fatal 4-Way. Braun interrupted and said they did not have unfinished business and he had no trouble beating him again. Jey Uso walked by, shot a look at Braun, and then the camera followed him as he made his entrance to a huge pop from this Calgary crowd. Everyone's doing the yeet chant. They did also announce before this match started that Finn Balor and JD McDonough will defend the World Tag Team titles against the New Day next week, while CM Punk will return. Yes, CM Punk is getting the Roman Reigns treatment of every week. He's
the graphic. I love it.
Then we got the Fatal 4-Way number one contenders matchup. Dunn tried to manipulate the fingers of Strowman at one point, so Strowman just picks him up and chucks him out of the ring onto Jey Uso and Dragunov before we go to our first commercial break. Strowman fought off everyone after commercial break. They really centered like the first half of this matchup around the other competitors trying to battle the size of Braun Strowman. Jey dodged a big charge and Strowman went shoulder first into the ring post, or ribs first into the ring post. They teamed up on Strowman after fighting one another for a bit. Moments later, where they drove him into the steel steps, Dunn shoved Jey into the ring post and went after Dragunov for a bit. They started fighting off. I felt like that was like the strongest wrestling in the matchup when Dragunov went at it with Pete Dunne in this one. Dragunov tried for a coast-to-coast, but Jey Uso runs in and clutches him with a mid-air super kick, shades of Shawn Michaels versus Shelton Benjamin. The crowd chanted yeet for that as it was replayed, and he got a near fall on Dragunov. Dragunov got the better of a strike exchange with Jey and hit a big clothesline. Dunn broke up the pin cover, though. Dunn snapped Dragunov's fingers, but Strowman knocked Dunn off of the top rope. He ran over all three men, and then he cleared the announce table, only for Bronson Reed to make his return and give him a standing tsunami through the announce table as the crowd chanted, "Holy shit." This took Strowman out of the match completely as Reed left standing tall once again over Braun. Dragunov and Jey traded strikes until Jey hit a big spear. Dunn threw Jey out of the ring and tried to steal the pin, but Dragunov kicked out. The crowd chants, "This is awesome." He stomps on the fingers of Ilya and then kicked him in the head, repeated forearms by him. Dragunov countered Dunn's bitter end into a power bomb into the H-bomb, and then Jey comes in and breaks up the cover with a super kick. He follows up with the Uso splash onto Pete Dunne. 1, 2, 3. Jey Uso, the clear favorite in this matchup, picks up the victory. The crowd popped huge for Jey Uso's victory here as he celebrated with the fans yeeting along with him. And then Braun Breaker came out for a stare down, holding up the Intercontinental Championship to close the show. It was confirmed by Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio that this matchup will not be for the Intercontinental Championship at Bad Blood. It will happen probably as a TV main event, but great match. This was probably the best match we've seen on Monday Night Raw in the last few weeks, probably since the Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn 2 out of 3 falls matchup. This was like my favorite matchup that I've seen. Just all action. Everyone looked good in it. I like the continuation of Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. Ilya Dragunov got to look good in this one. Pete Dunne looked good in this one, despite taking the loss. And of course, Jey Uso was everyone's pick to win this one. So it makes sense for him to get the win. But I am disappointed that it's not going to get a spot on the PLE, though. That's my only nitpick because the match was great. What did you think, Chase?
Well, that pisses me off because every fucking PLE, there's yeet shirts in the crowd. These fans come and they want to do the. I don't understand the PLEs. They're on Peacock. People click on it. I would want the visual of the fans doing this all the time, just so that way it's like, oh, I want to go to the W. That looks fun. Like it's like no, let's just keep Jey Uso away from the PLE. Maybe it's because if he loses another big PLE, people on Twitter will be like, "Oh man, Jey Uso, he got."
They don't want to piss off Rikishi. My favorite tweet that I saw after the show was basically someone said Rikishi when Jey Uso wins the number one contendership, and they showed Eggman doing the. At the end of All Out, that was great.
but no, this match was terrific. I was like, oh my god, I was just like, I haven't been glued in a minute like that. That was fun. Even during the commercials, didn't bug me. I was having fun this match, and honestly, Bronson getting COVID was probably the best thing for him because like because I guess Braun and Bronson they just role reverse like instead because I'm pretty sure the plan was Braun Strowman was going to come back after getting killed on the car and cause Bronson the match, but it was way more badass seeing Bronson Reed do a tsunami onto Braun Breakers. Braun Strowman, too many Brauns in this stupid company. Change their names. But yeah, no, that was one of my favorites. I thought Pete Dunne was like, besides Ilya is always great, but Pete Dunne I felt was like the MVP of the match. Like he was controlling.
He was the glue.
He did so much good stuff. But Jey, like this is how you know Jey's over. Normally in this situation, guy like Ilya, he would be like the overwhelming favorite, and then people would be so pissed. I would see on Twitter, oh my god, why do they keep pushing Jey Uso? But no, Jey Uso was so freaking over. He costed the underdog darling internet favorite Ilya Dragunov in this match and won, and the fans were still happy. It was like they were cool with either or winning this match, which was great. But yeah, no, fantastic main event for WWE standards, especially for TV standards. Like this is what I expect when I watch the PLEs, not on TV. Like TV, they barely go this hard. This was really good for them. And Jey Uso winning the stare down was perfect. Good ending to Monday Night Raw. Like, and the crowd like so hype for Jey Uso. Like, why don't you want this on a PLE? Atlanta's built for this. This is the most Atlanta thing I've ever seen. This down. They would sing the song too. Like, oh man, like this is.
I don't get it. I thought, and you built like 3 weeks of television around this shit, and they can't even get the PLE.
Yeah, I'm so tired. This is my biggest complaint with the Triple H booking, where it's just like he'll build shit on TV, and then it doesn't go on the PLEs, and then stuff that sometimes he puts barely little effort in. Oh, we'll throw it on the PLE. Like the women's tag title match was on the PLE. What?
Yes,
like
that's the first thing I thought of.
LA Knight and Santos Escobar, yes, not a good build, but they were at least on TV building that match. That could have been on the PLE, and fans love LA Knight too. Like that's my biggest thing. Two of your hotter acts, LA Knight and Jey Uso, still hot despite what anyone ever wants to say about them. They're still moving merch. Fans still pop when they hear their theme music, still do their catchphrases, everything. He just avoids putting them on PLEs, and you would think you would want these guys on PLEs. Like, it makes no sense. Like, my head hurts when I try to think of it. Like, look, I appreciate that sometimes you don't try to force matches on PLEs, but you're forcing the wrong matches on PLEs and stuff like that. Like DIY, their moment should have been on a PLE when they won the tag team titles, not when they lost. That would have been sad. Cool. Have the bloodline or the water line, as I like to call them, not real blood, the Tongans, not Samoans, water line, but have them win on SmackDown. That's fine. But yeah, no, sometimes I'm just like so confused what he decides on the PLEs, and I hope Triple H just changes that. Like this is such a PLE match too. Like, oh
yeah. But that brings us to the end of Monday Night Raw this week in our review. Y'all know the deal, what we always do for every show review, every pay-per-view review here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Let us know your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what did you give the show? And final call for Super Chat donations. We want to thank all of you that sent a Super Chat throughout this stream. Y'all listen to me at the top of the show. Romeo's going to be mad. He missed this week, so thank you guys. But for me and Chase for the September 9th, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up for me, thumbs up for Chase. Out of 10, I'm going to give this a very good 8 out of 10. What did you think, Chase?
Yeah, I'm with you. 8 out of 10. Rare when we get 2 PLE quality matches on Raw, and especially like the main event being like as good as you're going to get for a main event of Raw, minus a couple promo segments. I know it seemed like we were going hard on it, but it's just there's logic, guys. Come on. The promo segments were good. Gunther's with a great all-time segment. Like that Bill Goldberg clip's going to get played throughout the years. Like that was just hilarious. But yeah, no, 8 out of 10. This was a very smooth episode of Raw. Like it was just like so smooth. It just felt like it didn't feel like 3 hours. Like And that's what I like, when I can watch a show and it does not feel like, oh, okay, this feels so like, you know, when you watch those crime documentaries or you watch your favorite reality TV show and you're trying to catch up and the episodes just fly by and you look up and you're like, oh shit, it's already 5 o'clock. I thought it was 9 a.m. still. But you were just like enjoying your show. That's how this Raw felt. Like I watched it pretty much twice, and I didn't feel like, oh wow, that was 3 hours too long. So good job on them.
Good job there. And I agree with Annika in the chat. She says, like, for some reason, they're treating the IC title and US title as a television championship. You remember when the TNT championship, the TBS championship would never get on AEW pay-per-views? You don't hear those same fans making a big deal about the US title and the Intercontinental title not being on any PLEs.
It annoys me because it's like, and especially because of like the match quality. Like I understand if it's like, oh, okay, it's Braun Breaker versus like Braun Strowman. I don't need that on a PLE. That's fine. Yeah. That's fine but this won't work. Like we said, built up for weeks. You pretty much spoiled the tournament. Who was going to win this before it was even announced? And it's like, oh no, this stays on Raw. What? No. PLE.
Building it on Raw, so it's on Raw, guys. Bunch of people also giving it an 8 out of 10 as well. Who was your MVP for the show, Chase?
Man, Gunther. Gunther's the MVP. This guy just came in Hart County and did not stutter on that Bill Goldberg line. Stood on business. I don't care if Sami Zayn got the better of him. He was still the MVP. He needs a worthy challenger. And he doesn't feel Sami Zayn is worthy enough for him. So I'm cool with it.
I agree with you. I'm going to give it to Gunther this week. LVP for the show. Who did you give it to? I gave it to, I'm probably going to give it to American Made. American Made just can't buy a victory, and they just get continuously beaten down. And if I'm going to give it to one of American Made, it's got to be Chad Gable. Jason?
Chad Gable's worthy, but the Pure Useless Collective is my LVP of the night. Like, you built them up just to lose to Natalya. That's pathetic. In 2024, this isn't 2012. This isn't the hashtag Give Divas a Chance era. It's 2024, and you built this deadly women's faction up. Like, people were calling them they were giving them names like they're the female Shield. The internet, they were saying, oh, like they're funny names and everything. Like, so much potential, and just to lose to Natalya in Calgary, this was the big goal. Oh, fucking useless. Get them off my TV, please.
I'm gonna give for match of the night, I'm gonna give it to the Fatal 4-Way main event. Like I said, I thought it was the best match they've had on Raw in a month or so. What do you give it to?
Oh, easily that match. I was gonna say, damn, this is gonna suck. I'm gonna really have to say a Wyatt 6 match is my match of the night. This is gonna go off brand by me for sure. I was hoping Ray and Finn was gonna be super good, and then the 4-way happened, and I said, thank God I don't have to say it on air. That's look, I gotta keep the gimmick up. I'm not sold on the Wyatt 6 just yet, but yeah, man, that 4-way, that's one like I'll go back and watch. Like I can easily go back and watch that match, and I'll just be like, oh my God, this was so much fun. One of those TV matches that you love going back and watching.
And you got the tease of like potential singles matches with like Dunn versus Uso and Dunn versus Dragunov. I agree with you. Pete Dunne was probably my MVP for that particular matchup. He was really the glue of that matchup. So really good episode of Monday Night Raw this week. I had a great time talking about it with you, Chase. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and when they'll see you on their YouTube screens again.
Yeah, you guys can follow me on X at ChaseLauber68. Tonight, our ATP Gaming Universe, we're doing our annual All in the Mud 2 pay-per-view, night 1, because we booked way too many freaking matches. It's hosted by Paddington the Bear, who is more Peruvian than Heel Steven. He was born in Peru. If you guys did not know, Paddington the Bear is born in Peru. I think tonight's main event is, speaking of Jey Uso, he won our Royal Rumble, and he's facing our WWE champion, Kazuchika Okada. So it should be a very, very fun match. And then there's a bunch of other characters. I think Gumby's wrestling one of our dog characters. There's a bunch of fun stuff that's going to go on there. Bad Bunny's defending his title, so definitely don't want to miss it. Come 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6:30 Eastern. Probably will go way long in the night. So if you have 5 hours, that's what you're gonna watch it. Oh, me and Romeo are going for the tag titles too.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Strong stuff. Strong stuff. Go over
if
there.
if you have not seen Romeo's character, it's the most ridiculous character. He has all the New York logos tattooed on him. It's ridiculous.
Go over to the Around the Point Network and check that out. Until then, you can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHeelSP3. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Heel Heat. Patreon.com/True Heel Heat, where you get $3 a month. You get exclusive content. And the best place to support us when we're not live here. I probably will be live tomorrow doing a quick preview for TNA Victory Road. It's a little bit of what you're going to get over at patreon.com/True Heel Heat. And for our members, I did the TNA preview and review for Emergence over on there exclusively for our Patreon and new members, but you can get it right here on the channel tomorrow. I'll be going live for that. Won't be a long one. Be short. It's just me. So check on the lookout for that. And I'll also be back on Thursday, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time with AE Ramble reviewing Wednesday's Dynamite. For Chase, it is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. This has been Rated Raw Review number 34, the best there is and ever will be. We are signing off until next time.